The Pittsburgh Steelers have made their first major move of roster cut-down week by acquiring Ryan Switzer from the Oakland Raiders. Switzer is a slot receiver and returner who never actually played a regular season game for the Raiders. He spent his rookie season as a member of the Dallas Cowboys after being drafted in the 4th round out of North Carolina. He caught only 6 passes in that rookie season, but he returned a punt for a touchdown and nearly did the same on a kickoff. He is extremely quick and has good hands. In the right offense, he could be a valuable contributor. In the wrong offense, he can at least be a major special teams addition. But Switzer couldn't have asked for a better team to join. The Steelers have an incredible track record with wide receivers. Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster and James Washington are set to be the starters, but if Switzer can develop as a secondary slot target behind them, he'll give Ben Roethlisberger yet another dangerous weapon in the passing game. That has both the fans and media members in Pittsburgh excited for what could come. Just spoke to Ryan Switzer. He said he found out about the trade this morning, and is heading to Pittsburgh tonight. https://t.co/olzoff62x05, IG, Jocelyn Anderson, @JocelynAnderson, August 27, 2018. If Switzer is headed to Pittsburgh tonight, it's fair to wonder if he'll be able to suit up for the Steelers on Thursday in their preseason finale against the Carolina Panthers. There is no way he could play offense in that game. There isn't enough time for him to learn the playbook. But he could serve as a returner in that game. If the Steelers acquired him for that job, they'd likely want to see him in it before making final cuts. Hopefully Switzer gets a chance to prove himself on the field Thursday. When he was at Miami in 2015, Steelers CB Artie Burns watched Ryan Switzer return punt for TD versus Canes. His brief assessment of Switzer: he can play offense, he can run good routes, has good hands. The return game, though, he's got a good wheels on him and makes guys miss. Joe Rutter, @TroubioRutter, August 27, 2018. As Switzer played in the ACC, he shared a college conference with several Steelers. Jalen Samuels played against him at NC State, Terrell Edmunds did at Virginia Tech, and of course, Artie Burns did at Miami. Burns seems to approve of Switzer's skills, though the two haven't squared off at the NFL level. If nothing else, it's nice to know that Switzer has the approval of at least one Steeler. His experience against a few others should help him make his way in the locker room quickly. That's lit. He's good. He's good though. He's good. He's good. He's a shifty guy. I ain't gonna say he did us in because he didn't do us in at Tech. We was low-key strappin', but he's definitely a shifty guy. Terrell Edmunds via Jacob Klinger of Penn Live. Edmunds, like Burns, played against Switzer in college. And Edmunds, like Burns, emphasized Switzer's punt-returning ability. A trend seems to be forming here. The Steelers seem to believe in Switzer as their returner. It's good to hear that the secondary approves of the move, as they'll be going against Switzer in practice every day. Ryan Switzer has now been traded twice in 121 days. Andrew Siciliano, @AndrewSiciliano, August 27, 2018. Switzer did not even make it one full season in Oakland. He was acquired on draft day in a trade with his original team, the Cowboys, for defensive tackle Jihad Ward. He was expected to compete for the primary return and slot receiver jobs, but it didn't work out. Switzer is now on his 3rd team in less than 2 years. Hopefully the Steelers can serve as a permanent home for the young receiver. Griff Whalen surpassed Ryan Switzer in camp. A toe injury likely to render Whalen unavailable for Week 1, but Raiders were ready to move on here. Trade was part of their plan to sort through WR cluster. https://t.co/zadeveragemic, Michael Galkin, @GalkinFL, August 27, 2018. It doesn't seem like the Raiders moved Switzer because he failed in their offense. It just appears that they found a diamond in the rough in Griff Whalen. He has shined throughout the preseason, and even if he has to miss a game or two early in the season, the Raiders seem to have determined that he is their best bet inside. With that in mind, Switzer became expendable. So they chose to use him to add a draft pick. Chris Patrick, at C. Patrick in full, August 27, 2018. Martavis Bryant has earned mixed reviews so far in Oakland. Rumors of a possible suspension lingered early in training camp, and his preseason hasn't been great. But the Raiders wouldn't be trading wide receivers if they didn't feel good about the position. Bryant is a major part of their plans there. While the two don't have directly conflicting skill sets, it's hard to look at this trade as anything other than Bryant securing his role in John Gruden's offense. Steelers have been looking for a return man for years now, and we just traded for second-year WR/KR Ryan Switzer. Hopefully he's the answer. Eli Rogers fumbled away a punt that ultimately led to a loss against the Chicago Bears last season. Cam Sutton fumbled a kick on Saturday against the Titans. Gerald Toussaint is probably going to be released in favor of Jalen Samuels later this week. The Steelers can't afford to risk Antonio Brown on returns. Switzer is probably going to be the primary returner right away. Through 3 preseason games. Marcus Mosher, at Marcus Mosher, August 25, 2018. Switzer is not Devin Hester. He is a young returner with upside, but he struggled in Oakland. Expectations should be recalibrated accordingly. Steelers fans should not expect him to come in and immediately start scoring touchdowns. If that were the case, the Raiders wouldn't have traded him. But the Steelers have had such a gaping hole at the return position that upgrading from miserable to just decent is going to make a big difference. Switzer is better than anything the Steelers previously had at returner. The Steelers now have 3 of the 5 picks chosen, 133 to 137 of the 2017 draft: Switzer, Dobbs, Banner. Thought you should know. James C. Wexel, at Jim Wexel, August 27, 2018. This is admittedly just a random bit of NFL trivia, but it's funny nonetheless. Steelers now have 3 players that were picked in the same group of 5 selections. Granted, none of them are sure things to stick with the team. Zach Banner and Josh Dobbs don't even appear to be roster locks for this season. But still, the Steelers clearly liked a number of players in that area of the draft. They now have several on their team. Joe Hayden and Morgan Burnett, my favorite players of all time. Steelers get him. Ryan Switzer, my favorite college player of all time. Steelers get him. It's lit. C. Mead, at Meter, August 27, 2018. The Switzer move is not as seismic as the Joe Hayden signing last season, but it is indicative of a continuing trend. The Steelers may not be aggressive in the early stages of free agency, but they have spent the past few preseasons actively looking to improve their team. Last season, they added Hayden, Vance McDonald and J.J. Wilcox between the beginning of training camp and the start of the regular season. The Steelers will seek out talent at this stage of the season. This is their most aggressive period of roster building. Ryan Switzer has a ton of talent. It's going to be on full display in between Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. Pittsburgh is better for his overall game. Our J. Ochoa, at Ochoa, August 27, 2018. Switzer played for a Cowboys team last season that had very little at receiver. His Raiders roster had an aging Jordy Nelson and 2 inconsistent players, Martavis Bryant and Amari Cooper. Now he gets to play alongside 2 stars in Brown and Smith-Schuster. James Washington looks to be headed in that direction. Defenses will not be able to focus on him at all. He will be open next season. Ryan Switzer is gonna go off now since he was traded to the Steelers. J. Marty, at J. Marty, August 27, 2018. The Steelers are the best team in the NFL when it comes to developing wide receivers. Brown was a 6th-round pick. Smith-Schuster and Washington were both picked in the 2nd round. Bryant was taken in the 4th round, as was Mike Wallace. The list goes on and on and on. If the Steelers endorse a wide receiver by picking or trading for him, it means that receiver has untapped potential. In Pittsburgh, that potential will be tapped. Ryan Switzer's time on the It will either be a funny blip on the way to a successful NFL career, or it will be the beginning of the end of that career. The Raiders trading him so quickly is definitely strange, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he will be a bust. Steelers fans know that better than anyone. They lost to two AFC teams last season in the New England Patriots and Jacksonville Jaguars. Both of them had Mike Hilton in their building and let him go. Hilton went on to become the starting nickel corner for the Steelers last year, a role that he thrived in. Sometimes a player just needs the right team. Switzer found the perfect one in the Steelers.